My next guest is the first Native American cabinet secretary in U.S. history. She's a member of the Pueblo of Laguna and a 35th generation New Mexican. Secretary Haaland, it's great to see you. Last time I talked to you, you were Representative Haaland, and like 3 days later, nominated. So it's great to see you with your new nomenclature. So I got to start out fun. I mean, sorry, folks, this is fun. It's not all serious, but I mean, this is serious. You ran the Boston Marathon.
I did.
Yeah, tell us how it went, what you did, why you did it, what it meant to you.
So, first of all, I will describe the Boston Marathon with one word. It was joyful. The people who come out to watch the marathon, the spectators, were so amazing, and it's just grateful. I felt like they were powering me the entire way. This year, because of the pandemic, they postponed the marathon. It's usually in April. This time it was on Indigenous Peoples Day. I had an opportunity to speak at a reception for Patty Dillon, a Native American power runner who placed second in the Boston Marathon, 79, 80, and 81. And so I was happy to run the marathon on Indigenous Peoples Day, and the people of Boston were so incredibly welcoming. It was a really great time. And I reached my goal. I wanted to do it in under 5 hours, and I accomplished that.
Well, that's terrific. Well, Madam Secretary, I want to ask you a broad question, because I think many Americans are less familiar with the Department of the Interior and what it's responsible for. It's the first Native American in this role, and you have sort of large purview over, a lot of different arenas of what happens in the interior, the public lands in this country. But I just love our audience to know, as you look at your dashboard each day, what are you trying to deliver? What are your goals, in your job?
Right. Well, I have more than two parts, but two general parts. One is to essentially manage and conserve our public lands, waters, cultural heritage for the people of the United States, and also to ensure that the federal government is living up to its trust and treaty obligations to Indian tribes. So that takes, we have over 65,000 or close to 65,000 career staff here at the department. We manage millions of acres of public lands. We feel very confident that we're in a new era. With Indian country, particularly, President Biden has directed us to have an all-of-government approach. Every cabinet secretary is ensuring that we're all living up to those trust and treaty obligations. Tribal consultation is a priority for all of us, and I feel very honored and humble to be in this role and to serve the American people and have President Biden as our leader.
Let me ask you this other question. I used to work for Jeff Bingaman in New Mexico in the 90s, and so I know the state well. And so I think this is true of many states, is that, when I hear the word climate refugees, about those that you see the changing climate, I feel like we have climate refugees and climate victims in America. We have COVID stranded victims. COVID has made such an impact and had such a disproportionate impact on certain communities in this country. We have inequality. We have lack of broadband access. We have lack of, even health care provision. I just want to ask you, and I know it's an unfair question, but as I think about New Mexico, or as I think about many other states that also have Native American populations, but it's really beyond that. What are some of the playbook ways of thinking about rewiring how we reach people where they are, so that they feel like they are included in the magic of America? When we think about a more perfect union, that we're not leaving people behind. And I just want to ask you seriously, because I know it's not a casual question. How do we make right so much that we've been getting wrong when it comes to forgetting and neglecting a significant portion of our own population?
Thank you for that question. And look, one of the most important things I think we can do is to essentially center the voices of those folks who have felt unseen and underrepresented for decades and decades. And that means that we have a workforce that looks like America. We need folks from all those communities who have felt underrepresented to work here, to work in the Department of the Interior and other departments, to work on the issues that matter to those folks, to understand what it means to feel left behind, to be at the receiving end of federal policies. And that's one of the reasons why we have, for example, started our missing and murdered unit to make sure that we are working to address that issue, missing and murdered Indigenous peoples, and why we launched our federal boarding school policy, federal Indian boarding school initiative, excuse me. It is so important to have the folks, those people, to hear their voices and have their work guiding, the work that we're doing to make sure that nobody gets left behind.
I have to ask you, what's your favorite park?
Whatever park I'm sitting in is my favorite park, honestly. And, from my office, I can look out the window and see the National Mall. That is an amazing place for folks who live here in D.C. But we have national parks all over the country, and the career staff, they care deeply about our environment. They are there to make sure that families who might only have an opportunity for one vacation, every once in a while, that they feel special and that they can enjoy themselves while in those amazing places.
Well, Deb Haaland, Secretary of the Interior, we really appreciate the time. You're always so good to us to give us some time to give us your thoughts on these issues. And I felt it important, in this 3-day festival of ideas and politics and people, that we make sure we reach you. So thank you so much for your time and joining us today.
I appreciate the invitation.